So when starting a channel and going from 0 to 1,000 subscribers, you need to understand that this is your explosive phase. The phase where you need to be able to produce the content that is around the most trending content. This is because your content is simply nowhere on YouTube at all. If you release a video, it will probably get 10 views at max. And this is going to be very, very disheartening. What you need to do in the explosive phase of YouTube is you need to produce content that is focused or centered around things that are trending right now. This means that your content will expire quickly, but it will gain you the viewership that you need in order to break through the YouTube algorithm. When your channel has 0 to 1,000 subscribers, it isn't really indexed by YouTube. YouTube doesn't have a lot of data and thus won't be sending a lot of traffic your way. So you need to be able to make content that is trending and content around things that are very, very relevant in today's society. So whatever niche you are in, you need to be able to produce content around that niche as quickly as possible. So here's an effective strategy that you can use to explode your channel going from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. Attach yourself to trends as quickly as possible. If there is something trending, you need to be able to find a way to attach yourself to that trend as quickly and as effectively as possible. Last year, we saw two huge industry trends. We saw Fortnite become a major trend, and we also saw Among Us become an even bigger trend. These were gaming trends, and not something that you may have necessarily have paid attention to. But if you did, and you capitalized on these quick growing trends, you would have known that those people that did that effectively grew and exploded their channels. However, when exploding your channel by attaching yourself to a trend, you need to make sure you don't make the fatal mistake. And the fatal mistake that people make is one that I've seen happen way too much. So the fatal mistake that people make when starting a channel is that the channel is the trend itself. Do not make the mistake of actually starting a channel that is based solely around the trend itself. Here's an example. Earlier on in the year of 2020, there was a game called Fall Guys. Now, this game is probably not as popular as it is now, but it was very popular when it was blowing up. The game was getting millions of views. It was being played by many big YouTubers. Here's something you should have done. You should have been able to find a smart way to implement Fall Guys into your content strategy without actually making your entire channel revolve around Fall Guys. That's the mistake many channels have made. You see, there are many channels like these that are centered around Fall Guys. And what do you think happens when Fall Guys viewership inevitably drops off a cliff? Their entire channel does too. So don't start a channel around one simple trend like that. For example, a trend like fidget spinners, or a trend like Fall Guys, or a trend like Among Us. You need to find a way to add these trends to your already existing niche. This means, for example, if you're doing a channel that is centered around luxury, for example, you could possibly do something that's related to Among Us. Perhaps the most expensive Among Us players or something along the lines of that. You don't want to, however, create an entire channel centered around the trend. Although initially and short term your channel will get growth, the long-term ramifications of doing this are bad, because the game inevitably dies. You will be in a very bad position. So please make sure that you don't center your channel around one specific trend. Rather, you add that trend to your already existing library of content, if that makes sense.